Hello and welcome. Today we've got David Mahoney, and we are going to be speaking about the 24 Strand activation, audits, and the gas. That's the fuel gas here in London, UK. Now, just before we begin, you can subscribe to our Telegram channels and to nicholasveniamin.com for my free email updates. And if you're watching this for the first time on YouTube, I will leave the link below in the description for the full interview, unless, of course, myself and David can choose our words wisely to avoid the insane censorship that's happening right now on social media. David, thank you for joining me. How are you, and what have you been up to?
Absolutely, Nick. I really look forward to these little chats we have because the information we share is very good. I'm well, mate. I'm well. I'm sitting in a hotel at the moment because I've got Huna Flash from the House of Huna. He's just kicked off his European tour for the fall, the autumn tour here in Spain. We had a 24 Strand activation event in an ancient castle here over the weekend. Very, very interesting. We have people from Texas and New York fly in, so that was very nice to see them all. And he's kicking it all off now. He's going from here to Ireland, to Romania. He's going to the UK. He's going to Norway. He'll come and say hello in a second. He's just checking in. I was rushing to try and get him checked in at the hotel before we started the chat. So I like all that alternative the activation, the whole program he does is very interesting because it's like a cleaning, a self-cleansing. It's quite interesting, and everybody is different. So when you're in a room with a lot of people and everyone's open and sharing, on the spiritual level, it's amazing to see what he does. And he's got so much energy, this guy. I mean, he might be tired now, but he bounds around. He's all over the place. People are asking him, how's he getting around all the restrictions to this, that, and the other, because, they're saying, you got to get the liquid to go into this country, you got to get the liquid to go into that country. But in actual fact, you don't really. So he's doing well. Now, Nick, would you mind if I took a sip of a cold beer at 6:30 now and I need a little refresher? Is that going to annoy you?
No, please do. Now, can you explain to the viewers exactly what is 24 Strand activation? I mean, there's so many people waking up to this new DNA upgrade. How do you explain it to them?
It's a tricky one, actually, because most scientific experts have talked about the 12-strand DNA. But if you analyze it in the matrix, the DNA matrix, you can see that there's a lot of open spaces there. So Huna's teachings and what he explains to you is that it's all from memory. And what you need certain key events and key exercises. Open up your chakras, as well as your ancient memory in your soul and your body. And you remember a lot of things from your past. So it's an ancient activation code by using Lemurian words. And Lemurian words are put together from a series of actually from calendar words. He's taken words from the Gregorian calendar, and they've put them in a certain sequence. It goes anti-clockwise. And in this sequence, once you say them in a series of it, you can feel the vibration. It's a bit like, in Buddhist monks, they do that chanting, that oh. You get into these words and the way you pronounce them in the frequencies, it activates things. It's fascinating work what he does. And I've been very fortunate to be involved in quite a few of his travels between Mexico and Bolivia, and then we were in Tenerife originally. But I don't want to give too much away because the way that he gets you into it, you go into it very slowly and easy. It eases you into it. But at the end of the day, everybody is just blown away by the results and how the cleansing, and it takes a long time to sort of really feel it, but you feel it. Took me a couple of days afterwards. And then he does the Seal of the Living Light Child, which is very interesting as well, where you can connect even further. So we'll put some links below if you want to join Huna on his tour. I'll get him to come and say hi in a minute. He's just checking in. I'll put the links below. But there's nobody doing what he's doing. There's a lot of charlatans out there, Nick, I find. It's a bit like the old days in the 1920s when people used to say, oh, I'm a clairvoyant and I can contact the dead. There's a lot of people out there on the circuit that you'll find on the internet who claim to be spiritual experts and past life regression experts. But Huna's the only guy that I've seen in action, a guy that's been skeptical. And from someone from my point of view who I need to see it, taste it, feel it. So, and I've seen it and felt it in quite a few occasions with him. We've become good friends, actually. He's a great guy. But yeah, he's kicking that off now. So I've got another 3 days here in Spain. We're actually trying to get to Morocco because there's the Caves of Hercules in Morocco, a part of the other ceremony that he did when he was here 6 weeks ago, where he opened and locked one of the gates in Gibraltar. We went to the top of Gibraltar and he opened and activated that particular lineage, which goes right across the Straits of Gibraltar and links Africa with Europe. So we're trying to get over to Morocco in the next couple of days, but the routes are still closed from the restrictions of the, that went worldwide. So we're not sure if we can get it this time, but he's certainly going to do it very soon. And that's what I've been doing this weekend, Nick. As you know, I'm back on the interview circuit talking to a lot of people. I've got 2 or 3 really good interviews coming up this week. One with a financial expert that talks about the entire fraudulent snake oil system that they put into place. The banks, as early as the 1920s and 30s, to just manipulate everybody into working like slaves. And you get a mortgage, they're lending you money that they don't have in the first place. So I'm going to do a really interesting part 3 parts of that interview to get the truth about the whole financial industry and how it's been made to make you fail. Basically, that's coming up for me. And then I'm watching this gasoline situation in the UK very much as well. Are you tracking that? You're in the UK. Are you seeing any of that?
I am. It's very, the mainstream media says that we're running out of gas and everybody's running and to the gas stations and there's big queues and it's causing lots of traffic and chaos and people losing even more gas. It's just a hoax. It's propaganda. That's what I call it, and I'm exercising my free speech. And I'm sure YouTube appreciates that because it's legislative,
Absolutely. Have you seen military on the streets?
Not as far as I have seen, no.
Yeah. Well, we've heard reports. No, I've had reports. I have had a few people say, I saw some military, because they're saying it's the HGV, the heavy goods vehicles, the trucks that are unable to get through and deliver the gasoline. So they're using the military. But I put a video out a couple of days ago saying, I don't believe that. I think it's a complete load of hogwash. And it's just another excuse to get the British public used to seeing this martial law kind of feeling on the streets that they accept it. Exactly what happened in Australia. I don't believe it, Nick. I think it's just more scaring tactics and keeping people in fear. So they're just terrified. And, it's the military, it's okay. But I don't believe that. However, I always like to talk about what's fact and what's not. I have had a report from a guy. He actually sent it to me. He says, look, I got a letter from the DVLA. And for those who are watching overseas, the DVLA is the official government body that monitor driving licenses in England. So because he's a registered truck driver, he got a letter saying, we really need you. Can you return to work? And he says, I already am at work. Why are they sending me this letter? So it shows that the government have been reaching out to try and entice people back into driving again. But one of the biggest problems, Nick, is that the HGV, the heavy truck drivers that were traditionally doing this in England, a lot of them were from Europe. So you've got Germany, Poland, France, Italy, Spain, all of these countries. These drivers were allowed to operate inside the UK for hauling heavy truckloads of whether it was gasoline or goods. And now, because of the Brexit, there's a shortage of truck drivers. So although I know that this is to do with the military and getting the public used to this idea of seeing military on the streets, there is some truth in the idea that there is a shortage of drivers. There's not a shortage of gasoline. So you've always got to talk about facts to let people know both sides of the story. I think it's important that, you take the side of truth rather than the side of convenience, because sometimes the stories we get told, they turn out to be twisted or exaggerated and not fully factual. I've been caught a few times, so I'm careful now.
But David, yeah. Some may argue that although there may have been short of drivers, there are also, on the contrary to that, there are so many people who are out of job, looking for work, and they need the money. And despite what their career was previously to that, they would be forced to or encouraged to go for a job, a driving job that pays. So why do we have a shortage? Why? I assume and I presume, I suspect that there are many people who would do that job. So why do you think there still is a shortage?
Well, it's quite difficult to get a heavy truck license in the UK. I mean, and as far as I'm concerned, you still there, Nick? Sorry, mate, I had a call coming in. As far as I'm concerned, there's the best countries in the world that test the drivers are the UK and Germany. Holland's pretty good as well, but it's difficult to get these truck driving tests. Now, there is a lot of work out in the UK at the moment. I'm also having people saying, look, because of this Brexit issue, a lot of people were not working there. So there is not a shortage of jobs, there's a shortage of skilled workers. But imagine if you distributed the fuel in smaller vehicles, because most UK licensed driving license holders can drive vehicles up to 7.5 tons. So you could transport quite a lot of fuel in smaller vehicles, or even vans. You know, if you had the right containers, you could still get it out there. But I believe it's yet another strategy by the UK government to keep you living in fear. And next thing you know, they're going to be used to seeing vehicles with military background and orientation on the streets with armored cars, for example, and uniformed personnel. And they won't question it. They'll say, oh, you know, they're helping us out. They're truck drivers or something. But are they? It's when the biometric scanning will start being implemented that I'd be seriously concerned about people's civil rights and your civil liberties. They're asking you to bioscan yourself so you can just go down to the shop or go to work. And I'm expecting that to happen. I would not be surprised at all if that's implemented rather quickly, sooner than later.
Don't you find that more and more people are waking up? And if so, don't you think that everything that the deep state or the white hats are doing, it's whatever they're doing, it's causing people to wake up?
Absolutely.
And I think that is very important. And that makes me wonder, when Trump keeps saying that he's going to take back the House, it really does make me wonder as to whether he's really controlling what's happening.
I wish he'd hurry up.
Well, I do as well. I really wish he hurries up. I think we all do.
Yeah, the thing about people waking up, I've noticed there's quite a few changes in there's a big change in energy at the moment. A lot of people are saying, wow, it's really powerful, the energy waves out there and what they're feeling about this great awakening is going on a planetary scale. They're really feeling it. But I've noticed small things like some of them pages on Twitter. I followed a thread the other day, and I don't spend a lot of time on Twitter, but there was this whole thread story about how did you wake up? It was normal people. One guy said, well, when I realized that people in the supermarkets weren't dropping dead, I realized. And another one said, well, when I realized that children in schools were, being made to wear masks, I saw that, and we're talking about giving this liquid to kids. And the other one was when I realized that there was no biohazard disposal bins or trash cans for the masks like you would be with any biohazard disposal. And somebody said, well, I got on the London Underground the other day, and 70% of the people were masked and the other 30% weren't. And the Underground's a strange background potential for bacteria breeding, Nick, because at the moment it's chilly. We're going in, it's October in the UK, so it's chilly, it's the autumn. But when you get into the Underground, the metro, whatever, everybody knows it by different names. When you get into the metro, the temperature's really high, it's hot. It's 30, 32 degrees down there some days because the heat is just coming constantly from these circulating underground. So that's a perfect background breeding situation for COVID. And it's not happening, that people are not there. 73% of the people that are in hospital now have been liquidized twice. And they're talking about a third liquid shot and a fourth liquid shot. So, people are realizing and saying, hang on now. I've had one and that wasn't good enough. Now I've had two, but no, wait, number 3 is the real good one. Yeah, people are figuring it out, and they're chatting amongst themselves on simple things people follow.
Doesn't it make sense if the good guys would use the weapons of the deep state, or if you like, the deep state's game, and they just abuse it. They abuse it. And they keep, making it look so silly, like another shot, and then exactly. You're making it look silly. You're using the deep state's game, and you're making it silly and waking the people up with that.
Yeah, it is. It is a ridiculous thing to keep doing. And people are saying, "Hang on a second, now I need 5 or 6 or 8." they're just going to keep going and saying it's another, you need another top up. You just top up that one and this one's okay. Just keep topping up, keep topping up. But more and more people are saying, nah, it stinks. You know what? It's like going into a shop and you say, how much is that fish? That looks really good. And then when you smell it, it smells bad. But the guy says, oh, no, don't worry, it's all right. You're like, no. Your instinct is telling you that it's not all right. So I trust on people's instincts to get them alerted quicker and then to alert the family members quicker. But I feel like we're over the hill, Nick. I think we're on the slope coming down. I think it's going to be easier. For example, the UK relaxed the restrictions on self-isolation this week, I believe. Didn't that kick into effect today?
It's self-isolation.
Yeah, I think they cancelled it today. And a friend of mine was in London this weekend. He went to the Chelsea game. So you got to show your vaccine or a certificate or whatever to get in. So he gets in there and there was random people just asking, you know. So there was these guys walking around as stewards and they had a vest and they said, sir, would you mind showing us your QR code? And he said, okay. So by the time he got it out and he's scrolling through his phone, they just walked off. They're just like, they couldn't be bothered waiting. They're just collecting a paycheck. And that's actually a big problem in all over the world, that people just collecting paychecks. Government employees, all they're thinking about is the paychecks. I mean, it's a perfect system, isn't it? You get a load of idiots working for the government, tell them to do what you do. And if you don't do what you do, you're going to get fined. You won't be able to pay your mortgage or go to the supermarket and eat. So you've got them. And most people always have government employees that you have to deal with, whether it's a simple thing like renewing your driving license or going to a post office to send a few letters. You've got to put up with government employees. And when these are the frontline brainwashed idiots that you're dealing with, it's very hard to get things done. I mean, a lot of people have put things off. Oh, I'm not going to renew my license because I've got to go in and I've got to get this on and stand there for 45 minutes and be interrogated. They keep delaying it.
How many people out there would like to control a group of people and just collect paychecks all the time?
Of course. It'd be amazing that, wouldn't it? You could sit at home all day watching Netflix and just keep checking your online statement. Another few 100,000 have gone in there. But this winter, Nick, a lot of the people I'm getting reports from, these medical professionals and people have studied thousands of hours of research, that they're coming back saying this winter really is going to be the winter of the cull. There's going to be a lot of people that will drop, unfortunately, because they have selected the wrong team, the wrong horse in this race.
But David, it's October now. When you say winter, which winter? Are you speaking of November, December, January, February?
No, I'm talking in the next few weeks, people are predicting that there's going to start being a lot of people coming down with problems and issues and health and complications because of this liquid that they took. And unfortunately, this is what we're going to all have to go through, trying to help these people out. Because we used to have this, the one is to be divided. It's them or it's us. And I've really switched my attitude towards that now. I think it's going to be a case of the healthy helping the sick, because they were treating us, although they treated us like the black sheep, and we're the ones at risk, and we're the ones that are putting all of these people at risk. I think it's going to turn around the other way pretty soon. They're going to realize they need us because we're the ones with boosted immune systems that have come to understand what it is to go through this without help from medical pharmaceutical companies around the world. So I think we're going to all have to bite the bullet, learn how to be patient, forgiving, and help a lot of these people through these bad times that are coming. Because it's going to take a good 6 months yet before we can see the real truth come out. With some luck, what happened in the Arizona audits, I hope the truth comes out about that they can see the figures are 17,000, Nick, they're talking about.
Just be careful with the wording, okay? Absolutely, yeah. The figures are the figures. There's just so much that has been found, and it's just a matter of time until they've exhausted which process they're going to reveal reveal it. Please
try and keep a lid on it is going to be impossible. But again, no mainstream media are picking up any of that little tagline story, about what really happened and what the real figures were. And it's getting so obvious now that people can just see. It's like, man, they're just not believing anything they see on the TV anymore. And I think it's the best thing to do. So that's what I've got to report for this week, Nick. Who are you talking to next tonight?
I have a lovely lady called Janine, and then I have Gene Decode later on this evening.
Gene, yeah. I want to have a chat with him. I've been trying to get him on his schedule because he's an interesting chap, him. He's the info he gets, the intel, very good, isn't it? About the underground bases. That's what I like when he talks about that. It's my favorite.
So is Huna there?
He is. You know what? He's not out there. He's just checked into the pool. But what I'll do is I'll send you a little video. Well, I'll be with him tomorrow doing something. If you want to add something else, we can throw it up. If you want to do a quick impromptu interview, I'll set that up for you because he's in and he's checked in, but he hasn't come out of the room yet. I thought he would.
No worries. We can do it next time. But David Mahoney, it's been an absolute honor to have you. Thank you very much.
Nick, thanks so much, guys. Oh, by the way, listen, I've changed Digital Warriors. We're going to go in different directions now. I'm going to do more what I'm doing now. Lee Dawson is doing his martial arts. He's doing very well. He's making a ton of videos. Man, he's working his ass off to get these productions done to help people. But I've opened up a new channel, Nick. It's called Mahoney.tv. So I'm going to transfer all my material on there. It's very easy to remember, Mahoney.tv. All the videos, all the material, all of the stuff I've put before, everything I've done before is all going to be on there. So it's very easy to remember. And Nick, I hope to see you very soon, mate. We're going to be talking in another couple of weeks. And your studio looks amazing.
Thank you very much.
One of the nose, man. That's a really good look. I'm impressed. I've been in a lot of studios, but that looks really good.
Well, thank you very much, David. And I look forward to seeing you as well in 2 weeks' time and hopefully soon face to face. But you take care.
You're always welcome. You know where I am, mate. I've got a special place down here near the beach for you can use. And you're always welcome. I'd love to see you. I'm going to finish my beer. I got another interview myself coming up, so I'm going to rush home to my studio. Now that Huna's in the hotel, I'm going home. Okay?
Okay, David, you take care and we'll speak soon. God bless you.
Take care, buddy. Bye-bye.